There's no club that loves sending players out on loan more than Chelsea. Every year they send a raft full of youth prospects to different clubs all over the world to gain some valuable first team experience before they inevitably return to Stamford Bridge and never actually play for the club. So let's take a look at 6 youngsters Chelsea loaned out and where they are now. First up, we've got Michael Mancienne. The 6-foot centre-half was one of Chelsea's biggest youth prospects back in the mid-2000s, looking to emulate the great John Terry, but opportunities were hard to come by, and Mancienne got his big break on loan at QPR, where he would spend 2 full seasons. He would then have 3 loan spells at Wolves, 2 of which were in the Premier League, the most top-flight football Mancienne has ever played, with just 4 Premier League appearances to his name at Chelsea. After his loan spells at Molineux, Mancienne moved once again, but this time permanently, heading to Germany to join Hamburg for £1.75 million, finally escaping the Chelsea loan cycle. After 3 years he returned to England to join Nottingham Forest, where he still is today, not reaching the heights expected of him back when he was a Chelsea youngster. Up next we've got Carlton Cole. Considering how amusing Carlton Cole's career has been, it's easy to forget that his career actually started at Chelsea, and that he scored 4 Premier League goals for the Blues. Cole would have 3 loan spells away from Stamford Bridge before being given the permanent boot, signing temporary deals at Wolves, Charlton and Aston Villa before joining West Ham for an undisclosed fee in July 2006, where he proved exactly why he wasn't afforded any real opportunities at Chelsea. His record goal tally for a season came in the Championship when he scored 14 times for Big Sam's West Ham as they won the playoffs. Cole left in 2015 and is now a free agent after being released by Celtic, Sacramento Republic and Persib Bandung in Indonesia. Next up, it's Ryan Bertrand. He is a player who Chelsea never should have got rid of, having been the heir to Ashley Cole's throne for so long, spending loan spell after loan spell away from the club before leaving for good in 2015 to join Southampton for £10 million, having spent the previous season on loan at the Saints. The left back had 9 loan spells away from Chelsea, playing for Bournemouth, Oldham, Norwich, Reading, Forest, Villa and finally Southampton. Bertrand did appear in the Champions League final for Chelsea, but only made 28 Premier League appearances during his 10 years at the club. Up next we've got Patrick Bamford. Chelsea paid Nottingham Forest £1.5 million for the posh striker in January 2012 and proceeded never to play him, instead carting him out on loan up and down the country, starting with MK Dons in League One, before stepping up to the Championship with Derby and then Middlesbrough, where Bamford really broke onto the scene, scoring 17 times for Borough and being named Championship Player of the Year for 2015. The next part of Bamford's development was the Premier League. If he could score goals in the top flight, then he might get a chance at Chelsea. Unfortunately though, he had loan spells with Palace, Norwich and Burnley in the Prem without scoring a goal, before returning to Borough permanently in January 2017, where his 1 Premier League goal couldn't stop them from being relegated. Up next we've got Leon Knight. There are some players you can't blame Chelsea for loaning out and not giving them a chance, and one of them is Leon Knight. The striker made 1 appearance for Chelsea, playing in the UEFA Cup against Levski Sofia, but would spend most of his 4 years at Chelsea away on loan, heading to QPR, Huddersfield Town, Sheffield Wednesday and then Brighton, before joining the Seagulls permanently in 2003. A true journeyman of the game, Knight played for 16 different teams as of February 2016, which I imagine was his aim when he joined Chelsea in 1999. Nowadays, Knight has his own clothing business and his Twitter feed is fairly interesting to say the least. And finally we've got Josh McCarron. The midfielder is still only 24 years old, but miles away from where people thought he'd be in the game by now. A great passer of the ball, McCarron was tipped as a future England international and did play as high as under-21s level. A man who turned down Real Madrid as a teenager, McCarron made 11 Premier League appearances for Chelsea, having loan spells at Swansea City, Middlesbrough, Watford, Wigan Athletic and finally Vitesse Arnhem, then joining Brentford permanently in 2015, and he's languished in the Championship ever since. While his footballing career hasn't gone the way it was expected to, McCarron has still had some luck with the ladies, having dated Corrie's Brooke Vincent and now is apparently seeing Lily Lexi Gregg, who some of you may know from X on the Beach if you watch rubbish TV like me. So those are 6 youngsters that Chelsea loaned out and where they are now. Let us know what you think in the comments below and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.